All right. Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of the WoodShed podcast, the only podcast dedicated to Wood Department, the number one World of Warcraft guild out there. We will smoke you in Blackrock Mountain. I am your host, Highwind, and I'm here with our other co host, our video editor, guild member, World PvP Chad, and just all around good guy, Thumper. And our other guy, Get Wreck Bro, who's normally here, is running a little bit late tonight. I think we might get lucky and he'll pop in here. I left the spot open for him, but that remains to be seen. So, Thumper, good to have you. You're gonna have to cover for Get Wrecked right now. I'm glad to see you on the other side of the video editing and actually on here with us. Why don't you start off by introducing yourself?
Yeah, I'm Thumper. I am a soldier in Wood Department. I've been with Wood Department since 2021. I actually have a pretty good, interesting story on how I came to be in Wood Department. I was originally Azura Strike in Era and Azura Kaizen in Season of Discovery. Um, but I guess to go back into my career of WoW, I actually started in 2005, 2006, where I played a shaman, Azura Strike on Lightning Hoof. I played all the way up to BFD. Um, Between BFD and 2005, I was a rank 13, didn't hit rank 14 because I wasn't part of the cool club on the server. Rated Nax, cleared Nax. I've cleared all the raids in TBC, Cataclysm. I was gone for MOP, which I always heard it was terrible.
Yeah, wasn't
I
that
quit
good?
and came back, and I actually joined the Alliance in Era
Welcome to the
in
Bengal
2020
Stormwind.
and
We offer financial
2021.
accounts
And
and
that's
safety
when I had
deposit
my
boxes
first
for
run
valuable
in with Wood
items. Do you
Department.
already have an account with us, ma'am?
I was in a guild called Dad Guild, and because that's what I was. I was a dad gamer, gamed when I could, and we got beamed and farmed in Black Rock Mountain to where we couldn't even raid. And I
Sounds like
brought
us.
to the leadership of the guild, hey, we should, fight back, do some good. It's a PvP server. We should PvP. They shot me down. Um, so on my spare time, I boosted a shaman and I left Dad Guild. Had an interview with Cost and Matsumi in Discord where I denounced the Alliance, joined Wood Department, and I've been there since, and I love it. It's been probably the best guild I've ever been in. Between raiding, the raid leaders, the officers are phenomenal. The people are phenomenal. Easy to play with, fun to play with. Um, Great goals that the guild has, and I'm glad to be part of those goals. I'm currently a white raid team member.
The best one.
Uh, the best one, white team white is the best one, hands down. Um, and yeah,
What do you play for classes? Just so the people know.
I currently play a hunter. Hunter is my only class that I play. I'm normally an alt psycho where I have 20 or 30 alts that I play with. I didn't want to do that this time. Generally play a shaman, but since we're alliance, I was like, well, I guess I could play warrior. Um, I had a few guys in the guild try and talk me into warrior. I thought about it really hard, um, but I was like, I'm just going to go for hunter. I want to be a nuisance in open world PvP, and that's exactly what I am. Because I am a full believer of red versus equals dead. So I have a warrior alt that I am leveling currently. I may try to get him into some raids once I get him up, but I'm a hunter full-fledged right now.
Love a good hunter. Also, real quick, you're also a military veteran. Wanted to thank you for your service. Not many people are willing to sacrifice that sort of and live that kind of life, so that we have our freedom and all that stuff in America. And personally, I feel like people that do that and are in or have served in the military, they don't, kind of get the credit that they really do deserve. So I wanted to, just kind of thank you for that. Everybody appreciates it. They just don't say it. And, that's a big deal. So I think for tonight we're gonna start with Thumper being our video editor. He's put together a fucking another awesome world PvP video. So here let me just swap this and yep, I think it's gonna start right now. Yep, perfect. All right, so we're in here. Thumper, since you made this, do you want to kind of go over the specifics of what we got going on here?
Yeah, so essentially what I did is in our guild Discord, we have a clip and montage channel. And if you post videos in that channel, I'm going to steal them and I'm going to turn them into PvP videos for the Wood Department. I want to have our name out there as the greatest world PvP guild. I want names to get out that are that we have in the guild that stream. I want them to be able to build a platform. I want their names to be out, because if their names are out, then Wood Department's name is out. And I need the world to know that Wood Department's the best guild all around, because it is. We dominate in PvP and PvE. We slay dragons so we can slay the opposing faction. That's just plain and simple.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people are obviously going to think, since this is a pod about our guild, they expect us to kind of glaze our guys and that sort of stuff. But I mean, the level of play of pretty much everybody in our guild is about as good as you possibly could get in this game. The stuff that people do just all the time and is just kind of their regular play level is ridiculous. In PvP, we have some guys that are just unbelievable. I was watching Mitsumi stream. We're gonna link his later. If you wanna see some of the best like made shit you probably could ever watch, that's the guy. And I'm not too big of a battleground PvP guy myself, and I was watching him play Warsong Gulch, and I swear to God, I learned in like 5 minutes of watching him, I learned about 15 new jumps to like get around the map, and just it's crazy. The dude can flag carry. He's flag carrying, killing people, saving people. It's unbelievable. It's definitely a good watch. It's probably the best like content you could watch of seeing PvP in this game.
Yeah, and getting those streamers out, like I don't want to call them small time streamers, but I mean, they essentially are. And for them to be able to represent the guild and get their name out there, I'm all for it. And I think that's one of my biggest turn-ons for doing this and trying to take over. Not really take over, but get people's names out there, because the amount of PvP that this guild does like astonishes me. Like getting pinged 5-6 times a day in Discord saying, "Hey, log on. We're just going to wreck a guild." I mean, to me, that is what I signed up for. That's what I want. The organization that comes behind the world PvP scene that World Department does is phenomenal. The officers that set it up, the little eyes and ears that's out, watching the opposing faction is amazing. And I mean, we get shit done. I mean, these guilds have a hard time rating. We are very well known on the server. We're well known on Reddit. And that's what it's about, is getting our names out there and making Wood Department the #1 guild. And that's what we're going to be.
Yeah. Do you speaking of Reddit, are you kind of active on there?
Kind of like I have an account, but it's not like something that I go and deep dive every day.
Yeah.
It is something that I watch the server Discord. Someone posts up something, I'll go and read it or something like that. Something that catches my eye, like talking about wood department or the crying on the forums. That's
Right.
always entertaining, and it's always a good read, and it passes the time. But yeah, I mean, we can I feel like we control everything on the server. We control movements, we control Black Rock Mountain. Pool's always closed. If we're in the mountain, pool's closed,
Yep.
and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, for sure. And I haven't seen anybody that can come and like match us in any of that.
Yeah. We a few clips before this one, we had a 40-man horde raid go up against us, and I think there was 22 of us, and we dominated them. And that's one thing that was driving me nuts, because the clip that kill shot right there that we had just did, someone on the server Discord was saying, "Oh, you guys only beam 10 to 15 people at a time." Like, that was 48 people,
Yeah.
and I think we only had 35, and we wrecked them. It's how we maneuver, it's how we handle things, and it's just a plus on the leadership. The raid leadership does a phenomenal job on giving call outs, and it's just a higher level of PvP.
Yeah, for sure. It really comes back to the leadership. I think our guild, um, it trickles down from there. The leadership organizes. They put in a lot of work. They sort of prepare our plan, and then our guild is just full of fucking zuggers that are all top tier players, ready to kind of take that call. As soon as it goes out, we have anybody that's available is pulling up. We know our tactics, we know what's going on, and we kind of just set up and dominate from there. It's honestly like quite impressive, but that also, we're talking about the leadership and we're talking about all the stuff they do, but down to the last man, everybody in the guild is leveling engineering. I feel like probably everybody in this guild has like done multiple professions. They've probably leveled this or that for leveling, and then they dropped this for NG and this or that. And they're giving up farming capabilities or money making capabilities, things like that, and they're pouring in all of their resources for the guild. I feel like we fund a lot of stuff as a team, like items like sappers, things like that. Like the guild is prepared with all that sort of stuff. We help each other with like whatever we can. It's just a great team environment and like atmosphere of everything. I feel like a lot of that is missing in the game these days. Like everybody's out for themselves, and they're only raid logging, or they only care about what they're gonna get and things like that. And we got guys that are coming in that have full gear and are still showing up every week, or they don't have they haven't been on outside and they're raid logging, but when they show up, they're pulling 99s the whole time and making sure that that stuff clears. I was watching some of your guys raid last night. I mean, you guys were literally killing bosses in like 15, 20 seconds. I think you killed Gehennis in like less than 20 seconds.
Yeah, like white raid is smooth, man. Like, and I feel like, I don't know. I'm a white raid member. I'm white through and through. Um, they're an amazing raid team. Ma'am, the raid leader, does a wonderful job. Everybody knows their shit. Every now and then there's a fuck up. Just I mean, it's kind of common with a 40-man raid.
Right.
Someone makes a mistake, but the level of playing that they bring uh, to the raid is phenomenal. Like if there's a mistake, we fix it.
Yep.
We fix it if there's a pool that's messed up. Our warriors automatically shield, defensive stance, grab it, handle it. And I think what you kind of touched on the guild as well is like the guild is like that too. It's a requirement to have engineering. We're a world PvP guild. This is classic. To me, engineering is mandatory. If you want to world PvP in classic, especially in 2025, engineering is just something that you need to have. The sappers, of course, when you're wiping a 40-man raid, and there's preparedness for that. And it's like how Costanza says, like, we are a well-oiled machine. And the reason why we are so successful is because we are well-oiled. I mean, It just hands down.
I'm glad you brought up that point too about like Mam. Shout out Mam, awesome guy, great like officer leader. I feel like some of these people have probably never experienced having a raid leader that knows that much, puts in that much effort, and really defines leadership and runs a tight ship that makes all this sort of stuff possible. So shout out, ma'am. But that we prepare for world PvP, we do all of that kind of stuff, but we put the same level of care into PvE as well with all of our raiding, our preparation for that, all that sort of stuff. I ran last night to bring you guys an arcane bomb for the raid to stun a boss or some other shit. I've been playing this game for 20 years. I've done all those raids a zillion times, and I didn't even know that was a thing. And I'm a veteran fucking player in this game, and there's still ways that they figure out shit to do it better every week.
Yeah, that was clutch last night. You doing that, we greatly appreciated it. So, to me, it's not really a secret. What we do is we bubble pool Domo. We hit them with that arcane bomb. It silences them for 5 seconds, and literally that 5 seconds, Domo's dead. All the mobs are dead. I mean, it's insane. We all 40 of us run in. We sapper, we AOE. I mean, it's the fastest Domo kills I've ever. I mean, it took me 6 weeks to get 99s on Domo just because the mobs die so quick. It's so frustrating for a hunter.
Yeah. Maybe it's an alliance thing, which is why I've never really seen that. I don't know, but that was new to me. And actually, we're playing Horde. We always play Horde. Now we're playing Alliance, and I'm sort of learning a lot of just different things that come with playing Alliance, or I'm playing a Paladin now. Always got to be a healer, but I'm still picking up new stuff constantly that you could never do previously, and you could do it as Alliance. So it kind of refreshed the game for me a little bit, which was nice. In a lot of ways, I missed the comfortability of being Horde, that I just knew everything, and I could level a guy with my eyes closed and all that. But it is nice having a kind of fresh look on things in fresh here.
Yeah, and to touch on that too, I think that goes to show the brilliance of the leadership that we have in Wood Department. We knew going into it that we would not have a lot of competition if we would have went Horde, just because I feel like the alliance on this server is very, very. I mean, their alliance, it's how they've always played. It's, oh yeah, we're on a PvP server, but we're just going to make it to raid and whatever, and that's how it's always been. There's a few good PvP guilds, and I say good very timidly because you've got other PvP guilds like Big P PvP. You know, they try. I guess they try to be like us, and that's exactly because you can never be as good as Wood Department.
Right.
But they get out in PvP. That's awesome. There's a few more that I can't think of off the top of my head that they get out in PvP, but it's not like us. And I feel like if we would have went Horde on this server, I think we would have had a lot of boredom.
Yeah.
Just because with us going against some of the top PvP guilds that Horde side that we know that we've ran with in the past years, we've ran through with Sod, we've ran through with Era. We know them. We know how they act. We know what they do. And we've just proven that we're just better, and we are. So running Alliance, it was a nice, fresh outlook of the game. Like I've played both factions, but I've always been a Horde person,
Yep.
and so it was a kind of a nice break, not having to grind Barons from 13 to 30.
Yeah.
So and dealing with Barons chat, but it was fun. I mean, this has been awesome. I think this has been a really good fresh.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I like the one thing that kind of bothers me about a paladin is and I haven't played Ret. I'm sure there's probably some guys out there that'll be like, oh, you just suck. Their paladins can fucking pwn people and blah blah blah. But I've had a real hard time, and I'm used to it. I'm always a healer, so I've never been like a great fucking killer of people. I've never ran into the 1v1 before and been like fucking dominant and just crushing people. I usually most of the time end up getting killed. And I was kind of like sad that normally I play a priest. That's always usually my first main. But I went paladin because the guild needed paladins, and it was something new that I hadn't done in Classic before, and just a bunch of reasons like that. So I went paladin, and it's been fine. But now I wish I didn't know dual spec was like going to be a thing, and I wish I had made a priest with dual spec because I finally could have like gone shadow and done that whole thing, and I see a bunch of priests now that are like rocking shadow and they're fucking people up, and I'm like, oh man, like I really don't want to level another guy either, but shadow would have been awesome. I keep paladin reminds me a lot of like druid. As I would always as horde, I would always play priest. Druid would be my second, and then if I had enough, I would make a shaman, and then I'd always keep like a mage on a second account. Right now I only have time for one character, but
yeah,
paladin reminds me a lot of like druid, where you're either tank spec or you're healing. You're always like a group focused character. You're not that solo guy really running around. You kind of suck at solo and you only shine in group stuff.
Yeah, like I believe last night we white raid we ran a Ret Paladin, and I didn't think I looked at his parses, but I want to say he parsed up in the 90s all night, and it was with the Nightfall procs. And I mean, it helped a lot because I think Nightfall procced, I think they were saying 98 times last night in the raid. So the mages were pumping. Pumping. That extra damage is nice.
That makes a big difference. I remember when Nightfall came out in like Season of Mastery or whatever, because I'm not sure if Nightfall's like, maybe it comes out in phase 2. I don't really know. But when we started BWL in SOM, especially because that was like a little bit harder, with like the changes to the boss mechanics and things like that, we were running Nightfall. We had a shaman that was like kind of totem twisting and hitting with Nightfall, and that extra bonus from that makes a huge fucking difference. Like, anybody that doesn't, any guilds that don't know about the little bonus you get from having a dude run Nightfall, now you know, because it's definitely pretty significant.
Yeah, big time. I think it does drop in season or phase 2, but
Okay.
I'm trying to think of who it was. I might be able to pull up the logs, but I mean, he did great. I know Greek was saying last night, Greek Wario, he would love to run it, and he could easily parse 99 on a lot of stuff, and I believe him because he's a good paladin.
Yeah, he's definitely a good player. Shout out Greek. We're gonna have a link to his Twitch later. Same with Mitsumi, the mage we were talking about earlier. We'll get you if you guys want more wood department and you want to see some of the crazy stuff that these guys do. We're gonna have that for you guys later on. Definitely, Greek is a good player. I've seen him do some pretty crazy shit. He's great in PvP too.
Yeah, and to touch on Greek too, like me and him would PvP a lot during Mara, during like the first beginning 2 or 3 weeks where we had honor and we didn't have battlegrounds. We stayed there in Maradon, and I mean, we ended up having mage boosters like team up, like 10 or 20 of them started a raid group against me and him, and I think Costanza ended up coming down, Matsumi ended up coming down. There was a bunch of us that came down, Janie, sorry,
Yep.
and it was 5 versus 20 Jajas. I mean, it was a great time, great PvP. I've got some videos on that I can share and put up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And yeah, I mean, it's hilarious stuff.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is funny. We were talking before we went live with this. We were talking about like bots and some of that other bullshit that's been going on in the game a lot. And they're part of the ecosystem. They're not going anywhere. There's nothing that can be done. They have somewhat have their benefits, and otherwise, they kind of suck outside that. But I ran into, I guess they call it fly hacking, which I don't really get because they're not flying. I guess they teleport through the ground or whatever. But I was in Fellwood and I ran into those guys twice yesterday. I went to go loot an herb and there was nobody around me, and I had to like dodge a mob kind of, so it was taking me like a second to like go loot this. And as I turned to go loot the thing, there was nobody near me, and all of a sudden this alliance mage just like teleported out of nowhere and was like already looting the herb. And then I'm like, oh, nothing I can do, he just stole it. And a little bit later, I'm still herbing in Fellwood, and a guy that was multi-boxing a warlock, priest, and mage all at the same time. I went to go loot an herb, and this guy also just teleported out of nowhere and fucking killed me like almost instantly. I don't know. He killed me faster than I could bubble. By the time like my thing showed I was being targeted, I took like fucking almost 4K damage and was just like insta dead.
That's
So
ridiculous.
it's bots can definitely be annoying, and I was like wondering too. I've heard that like the bot people will, if you're like constantly killing their bots, that they will like report you and shit, and the Blizzard auto system, I guess, if you get enough reports against you like quickly, it just automatically bans you. So I heard people like worrying about that, where they kill some bots and all of a sudden they're just like they're playing and they just get booted off.
Yeah, I can touch on that. During the fights with the mages, the Mara booster mages, um, me and Greek would both get messages like, hey, you keep messing with us and messing with our mages, we're going to report you and we'll mass report you. I think Greek caught more of it just because he was there more than I was. And, he was like, you guys will never boost when I'm online. And I think he kept it locked down for like 2 or 3 weeks where
I love that.
they messed him up. He was messing them up. And I mean, it was awesome. But luckily, he never got banned or anything. But it was just the threats that went behind it because for a fact that they've got all these accounts in order to do it. And I've always been told the magic number is 60. 60 reports, automatic, ban because of how Blizzard's system's done. I don't know the truth to that. But that's what I've always heard is 60, the lucky number 60. You get 60 reports, you're banned. And that's why, like the AV bots, you automatically get 39 people voting against you. It sends a little flag up for Blizzard. But, you had issues in Fellwood. I have issues in Ajara daily. I fish in Ajara and I mine in Ajara. And for the last few weeks, I've been stacking winter squid because it's about to go off. It's about to be done, and I think we're going to go in summer or spring. I can't remember which it is, but I battle troll mages. It's always troll mages for some reason.
Yeah,
female troll mages. I battle them every morning. For fishing spots in Ajara, and when I get up to do the mining little route over there by Azure Ghost, it's the same thing. I mean, they're running around in the same circle. You attack them, they dismount, they keyboard turn, you kill them, and it messes their script up, and then you find them in the next loop. I mean, it's constant. The state of bots in WoW in general is insane. There is a fix to it. Blizzard could easily fix it, but you and I both know that they won't.
Right.
And it's the same as like the economy in WoW. Me and Greek also agree on like bringing back gold DKPs.
I'm with you.
It could easily affix the economy instead of everybody constantly having to swipe. I mean, I think the price for Flask right now is like 205 gold per. And it's because of these bots and hoarding. What is it? Is it Black Lotus or something?
Black Lotus.
You can't even get to the nodes because they're fly hacking through the floor.
Yep. I'm a herbalist, and I have never once seen a Black Lotus spawn up. Like, I've never fucking seen one at all this entire fresh. So some other guy was kind of explaining it to me, what they do the other day. And he said that basically they have like a couple accounts with hunters, and they eagle eye all of the spawns. And then they're also the guy that's getting it. So like once they loot it, they know the timer. So they know like, okay, in 20 more seconds, it's gonna spawn at like such and such. So they're already like way ahead of everybody just off of that. And then they have they have the hunter to eagle eye where everything is. And as soon as they see, oh, it's over at this spawn on the mountain, they just fucking teleport there and grab it. It's like, how could you possibly beat that unless you're like doing the same thing?
Yeah, and I mean, it's impossible to combat it because they're controlling it. Like Fellwood is a prime example, like Bot Paradise. I remember going there and I killed a bot hunter that was killing the elementals because I needed essences of water. And couldn't even get the essence or I couldn't even kill him without 4 or 5 more mages showing up, because they've got some like a little alliance, or I don't know if they're hanging out in Discord together and they're like, hey, I'm being attacked. But, and it's always like some wild, crazy name. It's never like a character name. Like you can kind of look at a bot and be like, yeah, this dude's a bot.
Yeah, it's they have like you said, it's literally like an alliance. It's probably, but the thing is too that they have so many fucking they have so many like characters too. Like each guy each like person is probably playing I don't like who knows fucking 30 accounts, like, so they can just pull up on 5 guys. Some of those guys are so good at like multi-boxing and shit too, that they have like all the macros and all that set up where like they target on one guy and it targets on all of them, and usually it's casters that they're playing, and they just fucking hit you with 5 guys at once. Like, there's nothing you could do. You're just fucking dead.
Yeah, like I don't remember. I don't know if you remember the boomkin in Era. He would have 5 boomkins, and he would just starfire you one time, and all 5 of them hitting him. You're just dead.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. You had mentioned fishing before. So PSA for people, winter squid is disappearing soon. I don't know if anybody needs to grab that now, but that shit is going to skyrocket in price. I wouldn't, with the way prices and all the shit has been going with this server, I would not doubt that stuff will be like fucking 20 gold a squid at some point. So if you need that you need agility food for your character, I would get to fishing ASAP. But
And
go ahead.
and for I think right now it's 20 gold a stack. So I anticipate, like, if it's going to be the same way if it was on Era, that shit'll go up to like 50, 60 gold a stack. I think this morning I found a cheap guy. He was selling it for 18 gold a stack. I think I bought 46 stacks and I just sent it to Mahal.
Wow. I should have bought. I didn't have the gold for it, and I leveled late, and like a lot of stuff I definitely didn't have a lot of spare gold to like invest in a play like that. But squid at one point was like fucking 7 silver pop or something, and I was like, oh fuck, like I should just buy as much of this as I possibly can and just like hold it for later, because I know I'll make out like a bandit on it, but I didn't have spare gold to like wait on a play like that.
Yeah, it's definitely hard coming late into the game. Like me and this one guy was talking. We were up in, I think, winter spring. He was getting ganked. I ended up saving him, and he was like, "Oh, thanks." He's like, "It's been really hard leveling, this late in the game," and it kind of made me think, like, can you imagine trying to level and there's kill squads of like 5, 10 guys running around like fucking everybody up, like it was like the first week of Honor.
Yep.
Like, it's impossible to level, and even now between the bots and like you looking for group right now, like I've got a looking for group add-on, and it's nothing but boosts. Like no one's running anything other than to get their prebis, and if you get into a prebis dungeon group, it's everything's reserved. Nothing's free roll. It's all reserved.
Yep.
You're not getting shit. Like, it's like I was helping get Wreck Bro the other day, trying to get his SGC, and I think we ended up having a paladin try to roll for it. Like he was.
It dropped, or he just wanted to roll.
It didn't drop. The guy actually came out. The guy that we needed to show up, and he's like, "Oh, maybe it'll drop," and I was like, "Why are you worried about it?" And he's like, and me and Get Wreck Bro are like, "This dude's probably gonna roll on it. Like, we should master loot it or something."
Yeah, you kind of have to.
This morning, I actually seen it drop. I was helping a guy out because I was leveling up my pet, and the Holy Pally in the group rolled on it and won it, and left. And I mean, it's just like shit like that.
Yeah, because everybody is out for themselves in this entirely. Like, they don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves. And same thing you were talking about with the dungeons. People, like, we kind of talked about this in the first episode. People, it's like you said, it's either all services in looking for group, or if you do find anybody, they're usually, like, we're talking endgame dungeons here, they're usually not 60, It's like a level fucking 55 guy trying to do strat, and then he also, like you said, wants to like hard res all the items. Um, or if you do find 60s, like you'll see like a tank or somebody like that in the LFG, and they want fucking 50 gold to do the run, and like I got desperate while leveling. It was hard to level because I couldn't find any groups to like do any dungeons or anything like that. I did some boosting, but I also was trying to save for an epic mount and stuff like that, so I wasn't like trying to spend a ton on boosting. So I would world
Yeah.
level and I would try to like run dungeons for some gear and the quests, and like even that was hard. And then I broke down and paid this guy, like I paid a tank like 50 gold, or it might have even been 75, to run this dungeon, and I'm expecting a fucking Chad tank that's gonna do top DPS, hold aggro the whole time, and fucking murk everything. And as the healer, I shouldn't have to like go nuts keeping this guy up. And what I get is a whack fucking warrior in shit gear using a two-hander that every single pull he's getting clapped on. Like I'm using my almost my entire mana pool per pull to keep this guy alive. He's like doing bottom DPS, and like he's a 60 and there's like 57s and 58s, and like those guys are doing more damage than him, and he's taking a shitload of damage. And then even worse, he's like he lets me get to like a quarter mana or like maybe half mana, and then he starts pulling again. And so I'm like popping pots, like my cooldowns are constantly on timers, and I'm just like I'm playing like fucking crazy just to like not wipe. And the guy like is just pulling like crazy. Like in his mind, he's like, I don't know, maybe he thinks he's playing good or something. And it just like one of the worst dungeons I've ever run pretty much, and I had to pay that guy to do that. It's like it's terrible.
Yeah. Well, it's like now I'm to the point now where like I'll only play with Wood Department if I'm going to go to a dungeon, or if I need to farm something like in a dungeon or something like that. Like I just I have no interest anymore dealing with these idiots that are on some of that's on these servers, especially on the line side. And
Right.
it's like um, going to a strat live, they instead of like the first orb being a hard reserve, now it's I'm getting every fucking orb.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I went into this one run. I think it was my last run that I did before I was like, I'm done with bugs. We had 8 orbs drop, and this dude got
Wow.
every single one of them. I mean, the orbs are like 54 gold a pop right now. I
Yeah.
mean, it's insane.
Yeah, that's nuts to take 8 of them and like not even like consider sharing at that point. Like that's what I mean about like people being out for themselves and just being like fucking super greedy. Like even if I said that I was hard resing the orbs and I got fucking 8 of them in one run, like dude, you don't think you could share a couple of those with the people that are like helping you beat this? Like come on.
Yeah, and then like especially like for myself, like I'm 8 out of 8. I have rock. I don't need anything. Like I'm
Right.
only there to level my pet. Like I take one, whatever. That's 50 gold. It's going to cover my repair bill. It's going to cover my arrows because arrows are like a gold each. But it's like I don't
A
need
gold
anything more.
each?
I'm really just
Jesus.
carrying y'all.
Yeah, you were probably fucking carrying them. Like you probably did all the damage and like all that shit, and the fucking weak ass tank probably took everything. Like you probably made his life doing that dungeon so much easier.
Yeah, like I mean, it was a cakewalk. I think I did. I think I ended up doing at least 60% of the damage on the entire dungeon. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he had a little bit of tier 1. He was a paladin. I mean, he held aggro, which was shocking, but
That is
I
kind of
gave
shocking.
him like 10 seconds each pull, and then I took off.
Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of what really bothers me. Like for the fun I'm having in this, like always have fun playing with the squad and I love this game, but the overall like community, it's like you're saying, like outside of the guild, it's really in like a bad place. Like um dude, I I saw this guy. I went to go loot a herb in Western Plaguelands. I saw this fucking guy try to loot this herb, and I think he was like a 59, which was part of his problem. So I saw him try to loot this herb like 3 times, and he's pulling like 10 mobs when he does it, trying to get the herb. And so he keeps running away and keeps resetting it, keeps running and resetting it. And I'm like just standing there watching. So I go over and I just loot the herb, like after seeing him fail at trying to get this like 3 times. And I was gonna give him the herb, like I just took it to be like, dude, here, like move on with your fucking life. And
Yeah.
I take the herb, and before I could even whisper him to be like, here, like come meet me in like a safe spot, he's like, you're the biggest piece of shit, like fuck you, I hope you die, like blah blah blah. And I was like, and I all I was typing was like, hey, come over here and I'll give you the dream foil. And like by the time I finished typing that and sent it to him, he like already had me on ignore. And I'm like, Jesus, dude, like, you know, people are just like, I don't know, they're crazy in this. And like, even like typing, like if you, I don't know if it's the younger generation, and I'm not even like that old, like I'm only 35, but like, I feel like if you type like a full sentence, people like that's like too much for them to like fucking read and comprehend. And like if you do more than like a sentence, there's 100% chance that they are not gonna read it. And like, when I'm like in a dungeon or something with like randoms and I'm not in disc, I have to like keep my directions to like a 6-word minimum. Otherwise, it just gets like completely ignored.
Well, the attention span's out the fucking window anyway. Like
Yeah.
if it's not like you said, like if it ain't fucking 6 seconds, like we were talking about TikTok and like Instagram and like PvP montages.
Yep.
Like if it ain't a clip, people don't want it. Like the attention span's out the window.
Yep.
Like I remember being a teenager and I would watch World of Roadcraft or Warcraft movies, and I would watch that shit. It'd be like 20, 30 minutes long, and it's like that ain't cool these days. Like if it ain't some fucking 6 second, one button retail, I just one shotted some guy. They don't want it,
Right.
and I guess like World of Warcraft's always been known for like toxic players, and like I get it, as sometimes I can be a toxic player too, but I try not to be. Um, but I've definitely seen my fair share of toxic players. Like actually, before me and you hopped on this, I was running stockades on my warrior, and I was DPSing. This guy was tanking. He was like a level 29 gnome, and he was like, buff me, priest, buff me. And like the priest is fucking drinking. Like he's not gonna just stop drinking to buff you or whatever. So he finally, like, as soon as he buffs him, dude fucking charges. And
Right.
it's like at 26, one fort takes away your entire mana.
Right.
So here the priest he's fucking from buffing him because he wanted to be buffed so bad. He takes off, pulls 4 or 5 mobs. We kill him, but he dies, and he's like, "You're a piece of shit. You should re-roll and all this." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "You should
No,
just
you're just a
unsub
fucking idiot.
because you your man. You your priest, and then you fucking took off while he was drinking. Like you're the fucking idiot, dude. It's not vice versa."
Right. I feel like people don't with that, with like healers drinking and like shit like that. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that your healer, like most stuff, especially while leveling, but even like in endgame, if you have like a fully geared out healer, like yeah, they can get away with a half mana bar or like a quarter of a mana bar maybe, but like most of the time they need like 75% to be able to like handle a pull, especially if you're tanking and your DPS fucking tanking and your defenses are fucking made out of paper and you're just getting chomped on, or like you're fighting mobs that hit really hard. Like you're gonna, he needs mana. You can't get around that. And then drinking takes, I feel like a lot of these people that play warrior or like melee classes and shit like that, like they just don't know, but like drinking takes 30 seconds. Like it's not short. Like you can't just start drinking and like, oh, my mana's back in 5 seconds. Like it does not work like that.
Yeah. Drink for 30 seconds or run back for 2 fucking minutes.
Right. Right, yeah, and I feel like a lot of people like just don't realize that that's like what it takes. Especially priests, like you mentioned the buffing, like actually I'm pretty sure it's like every class except paladin, but our buffs are only 5 minutes, so that's why I guess they're cheap as fuck. But like a priest buff or mage buff at the early levels and pretty much all the way until they get their codex at the end game, like that literally is like half their mana bar to do one buff.
Yeah.
So like you can't, I don't know, you can't PSA, you can't ask for that much from your healer. It's just there's limitations in this game. But actually, we need to cut to a quick advertisement about our sponsors. Today's episode is sponsored by our guildmate and wonderful hunter, Feck, the Hunter of Justice. Speaking on services, if you're a warrior or a melee guy that's tired of running Angerforge runs, that's tired of seeing that garbage chest plate or that 5 gold vendor axe constantly dropping and you have not been able to get a Hand of Justice, then just hit up Feck. He runs, that's FEKK. He runs Hodge runs all the time, has had 70 something successful Hodge drops for people. He's gotten it for some guys as fast as 4 runs. And if you're watching this podcast and getting brought to him by that, you can mention this podcast and you can enter our promo code 3BlackLesbians for a 10% discount. So yeah, if you need Hand of Justice, definitely hit up Feck. That's probably your easiest way to get it. All right, I had to plug in the sponsor.
And Feck's a white team raid member, so definitely check him out. Awesome hunter, big pumper.
Yeah, he's been doing it. He's been doing the damn thing for a long time. He was. It was really funny in SOD. We were raiding Nomergon for like the longest time, and we kept trying to get I forget what he was trying to get. He was trying to get like some fucking claw or like some shit like that, and we were raiding forever, and the fucking thing just wouldn't drop. And I've never seen dedication like that. Like this guy was showing up to Nomer for like 3 months, needed absolutely nothing except this one item that would drop, and he just kept on showing up, kept helping out the boys, gratzing everybody when they're getting their loot. And that's like what we have in this guild. We have guys that are going to show up for their boys like that, whether they're getting something or not. They're not this selfish fucking new school of things that only care about what they're going to get.
Well, it's like, me and you talked before the stream, and it's like the entire guild, like Costanza's told us in the past, like the entire guild is a well-oiled machine. And, I truly believe that because I mean, there's not so many selfish people in the guild. I feel like loot's distributed pretty good. I
Yep.
mean, I've been 8 out of 8, and with Rock as a hunter for 5 weeks now. I still show up every Tuesday. I mean, I could easily just quit, come back, when phase 3 drops, and go from there. But it's not my personality. I like seeing people get geared.
Yep.
I mean, it's frustrating. Like, I think I need like 2 pieces of gear left. It's like the Band of Akira and the Cloak from Rag, and I've been waiting on it. But like, there's dudes in our raid that has only got like 1 or 2 pieces. Like, they need stuff. And we're helping them out, and um, I see that. Like, we have a good loot council on Raid White. They do a good job.
Yeah, you're on the A team. That's that group. As far as I know, I mean, I know there are some newer people in it, but the core of that raid, and then Mam leading it. That's you included. That's most of our OGs. So those are fucking the guys that they've been doing this shit forever. So I wish I didn't start so late, because if I had my pick of raid teams, that would probably be the one I'd want to be a part of.
Yeah, Mam does an awesome job. Jada does an awesome job
Yep.
doing the loot council. I mean, it's a very good raid. It's put together. Awesome group of guys. We're very focused when we get into raid. Every now and then we've got to mess up, but when you have 40 people, it tends to happen. But awesome raid team. I look at other raid teams. Nothing against the other raid teams, but I feel like we're the best one, and
I would
I have
co-sign that.
pride towards them.
Cause is in there as well, right?
Yeah, we have his warrior, and he's a madman when it comes to
Yeah.
raiding.
Oh yeah. Is he tanking or is he DPSing?
It kind of depends on his mood. He kind of got tired of us, like waiting for buffs a few weeks ago, and he just charged in.
Did he do his classic fucking rundown to get shit back in order?
No, actually, it's funny because with how ecstatic Cost is, he actually stays pretty quiet, and he just gets shit done. I mean, dude pumps.
Yep.
I think for Gar, he like ran in, he lipped and challenge shout, and I mean, took all those mobs, and I mean, we have such good players that the raid scene is just easy. I mean, it's like, I think we're done in 40 minutes on just like an average night. I mean, it's enough to where I can use DM buffs 2 weeks in a row.
Oh my god, shit, that's awesome. That I would fucking love. That I would love to be able to not have to fucking get the buffs every single time. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's nice having a good raid team.
We were talking about fishing earlier. I'm thinking I'm actually fishing and stuff while I'm playing right now, and I'm thinking fishing might be the new hustle with things, because it's like, I mean, every now and then you get fucking ganked, like depending on where you are, but I think fishing might be the new hustle on things, for finding a good way of making money that's like pretty nice and easy. I'm gonna try to hit up that squid before that runs out. Hopefully I can get my skill high enough. Like you were saying too, with the essence of water, that's like another thing that's been like impossible to farm. The water elementals in EPL, there's botters all over it. There's fucking 4 or 5 people. Same in Fellwood. And I haven't fished any of the pools that you can get them from in Ashara, but I've heard that that's basically the same thing. I don't know why. I bet I've never been to Silithus really. I bet you it's probably the same for the Essence of Air, because I mean the botters literally just like they take any fucking thing of value in this game and just like commandeer it. But
Yeah. So the last time I was actually in Syphilis last week, I think on like Thursday, and there was a group of 10 horde. 5 were farming and 5 were attacking.
oh,
So it was, I mean, they completely controlled it.
yeah,
And at the time, there were 6 layers running because this was at night. And I mean, I think I was able to get maybe 10 or 12 essences of air. Like I feel like the drop rates has increased, but
that's pretty
I mean,
good.
it was just like constant PvP. Like it was to the point to where I was laying down frost traps behind me before I opened up on a mob because I knew someone would come after me.
Yeah, yeah, that's bad. Plus, fucking, you got to be extra on your toes because, dude, they'll just fucking teleport through the floor like you're no longer like I would when I was like whenever I'm playing and I'm like worried about somebody rolling up on me, I play like max zoom where I'm like overhead of my guy, almost like fucking original GTA. Like I'm like from the sky view or whatever. I forget what the name of that is, but I zoom way the fuck out so I can see like literally as far as my camera can fucking see. I can see around me. And it doesn't even matter because these fucking dudes will just literally like pop out of the fucking ground and just start killing you.
Well, it's funny that you say mages because in Syphilis, I bet you right now if we logged on, there would be 4 or 5 mages down there that would be pulling, I don't know, 20 air elementals together and they would AoE them all down.
Yep.
And I mean, it's hard to compete with something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just not much you can do. I'm actually farming low level shit. And I've been making a good buck doing that. I almost don't want to like say it because I don't want fucking people to steal on it, but light feathers are selling for like 30 to 40 silver a pop. So I've just been running around fucking Westfall killing all the vultures, and you get like 20 light feathers a lap around Westfall. Then I also loot all the Briar Thorn and Mage Royal for Swift Thistle. Swift Thistle was more expensive. Now it's down to like a gold. And then I also kill all of the Dust Devils. And when you get a lucky magic dust drop, that's like 3 to 5 gold. So I've actually been like making like, 50, 60 gold an hour, maybe more. Literally just running around fucking Westfall killing like the easiest shit, and obviously it's an alliance zone, so I don't have to worry about anybody fighting me. And then for the most part there's so many of these mobs, except for the Dust Devils, but there's so many like vultures everywhere, and a lot of the herb nodes aren't even contested because I guess nobody really cares enough to bot that shit. So it's the only thing I found that's not like contested really.
Well, some of the best farming that I did for my epic mount was Maradon. So I would run my hunter through Maradon through the portal, and when you're level 60, you can pretty much dodge all the mobs, or they won't aggro to you. And I'd mine the mithril. So I think mithril right now is 20 gold a stack.
Oh wow!
And I would have my second account in the group, and I would just log out and then have them. I would reset the instance and go in. The only thing on it is like you'll hit timer every now and then for the instant cap, but I mean you can easily walk out with 4 or 5 stacks for 5 runs.
Oh wow!
And
There's
I've been really
nodes in there.
Yeah. There's nodes in there, mithril nodes, and the silver nodes and gold nodes.
I wonder if I could do that for herbing too. Well, I don't really know what herbs are in there. Ghost mushroom normally sells for a lot, but it's not lately. It's like 40 silver or something. It's not that high of a price.
Yeah, the big gold maker is the DME jump runs.
Yeah.
Because I can go in, I solo the first boss. I normally get a essence of water from him, and then I'll go up. I'll pull the Illhoof guy, and if I don't fuck it up, I'll kill him, and I can go on and do the mining at the end of the dungeon. I'll just reset it. I'll kite them back and forth,
Yep.
but that's been really good. Like I've gotten a bunch of arcane crystals. And I've gotten a bunch of blue sapphires. I think at one point I had 22 blue sapphires, and I should have saved them, but they were selling for like 158 gold a piece.
Damn. Fuck. That's what
And
I
so,
noticed in this. A lot of shit that like normally in other versions of Classic like was not that valuable ever. But like for some reason in this fresh, a lot of that stuff is selling for a lot this time around.
yeah, prices on everything is insane. Like I
Yeah.
know we talked about bringing back gold DKPs in order to kind of control the inflation. And me and Greek, we're pretty loud about it on the server Discord because it's always in shit posts, and they're always, people are either crying about gold DKPs or people are wanting them back. And me and Greek are both on like the side of bring them back. Like it would actually kind of fix the economy in WoW. It was nice, and during era, like I played a shaman, and so like I would go heal for ZG and walk out with you know 10G or 5,000 gold, whatever. You heal an AQ, and depending on the drops, I mean, I've walked out of there with like 30k,
Damn.
and it's just like there's so many bots that gold's really cheap. I think you can buy gold right now. I think you can get $3,000 for like 40,000 or $40. I mean,
Wow.
it's cheap as shit. I mean, you
Yeah.
got these kids that are maxing out their mom and dad's credit cards or something.
Right.
Because I mean, it's insane, and the gold stock is insane. Like if you pull up El Dorado or what's the other one, G2G or any of them, the gold stock's insane. Like we're talking like they've got 30, 40, 50,000 gold just
Like
in
ready.
stock.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and they'd only have that if people were like paying like that. So,
Yeah.
it's got to be reflective of that. I'm with you on GDKP. I agree completely. I think it would be great to have that back. It would definitely help balance some stuff out. And as a healer, that was one of my like primary ways of making gold. So basically on at least like 2 or 3 characters, like out of my 3 characters, normally my mage would be like it was always my like shitter character that I never really geared up or like raided with, because I'm not that good as a DPS. So what I would always do is I'd buy gear in GDKPs on my mage. That was my like primary way of getting gear on him. And then I would take all my healers and I would carry heal. And even on like I've never gotten those payouts like you're talking about. Like I think the most I've ever made in like a GDKP was like fucking, I don't know, maybe 1,000 or like maybe 2,000. But even on ones where there wasn't like that good a gear or anything like that, like you're still walking out of there with probably like minimum couple hundred, like 200-300 gold. And like how long does an AQ20 and a ZG take? Like this is like later on in the server too. So people, even shitty people, are like running this pretty damn fast. And I would basically use my ZG and AQ20 lockout on like 2-3 characters, and that was like minimum like 1,000 gold a week, which was like more than enough to like do anything. Even though prices were also way cheaper and stuff, but like that was the best way to like fund yourself as like a healer. And then I would farm and whatever, but really GDKP like kept you going. You really didn't have to do too much outside of that. So I would like to see that
Look,
come
it
back.
paid for all your consumes. Like as a warrior, like in this WoW economy, I guess you would say, like you've got all your flasks, you got your fire water. If you can't farm the damn fire water because there's so many bots there farming it. Your
Yep.
juju, same thing. Um, like everything's so over farmed, you might as well just get it from the damn auction house.
Right.
And the GDKPs, it allowed you to be able to refund yourself at least for the consumes if it was a shitty one. Like
Yep.
the reason why, like that one where I got almost 30,000 gold was because you had some top tier items that dropped. Like I remember being in an axe where I got paid, I think it was like 26,000 gold, and it
Oh
was
my god.
because Mina Menthil drops. I mean, Mina Menthil sold for like over 265,000 gold. I mean,
Yep.
it's insane. Uh, you've got
That's
guys that
nuts.
are gold capped on multiple characters, doing that, and
Yep.
then it it helps the economy because if everybody's gold capped, shit, there ain't no reason to sell that shit for 300 or 400 gold. Black lotuses are like 20 gold. Whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I've never been like gold cap or like close to it or anything like that. But I imagine if I did have like a bunch of gold and shit like that, that's probably exactly what I would do. I'd probably give out a lot and like help people a lot and just kind of like spread the love. Like I don't even know what you could
Yeah.
possibly need. If you had that much fucking gold, like what more could you like possibly need or do in the game? And just be like, I don't know. I can't even like really imagine that. I give out gold. I'm usually like, I haven't even had that much gold this fresh, and I still have been giving out gold. People are terrible at paying back gold too, which surprises me with like uh, how like rich everybody is and gold buying and like all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't buy gold. I always just farm, and it's like it's tough farming now with all the bots and everything we've said, and then um, being a paladin on top of it doesn't really help. And
It's
it's
hard
like,
enough. It's hard enough farming as a hunter. I couldn't imagine a fucking holy paladin.
yeah, yeah. I wish like I'm a terrible hunter. I've leveled like hunters for people. I can kind of play it like at like a basic level, but compared to like somebody that's like a good hunter, I'm probably what people would classify as like a huntard if I was playing hunter. But still, it's much easier as like a DPS to like kill shit and even like I wish I had a mage. I really want to kind of level my mage all on my separate account. Like also just because I go to Stormwind and I need water and a port, and there's fucking 50 mages like just standing around doing nothing, and I'm like, yo, can I buy stuff? And I always pay well. Like I pay like fucking a 6 stack of water. I'll pay you 2 gold for that, and like a port, I always pay like at least a gold. If a guy gets back to me fast, I'll pay a gold 50 for that. Like that's a come up off of a fucking, I forget what the rune is, like 15 silver or something. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, but I would love to get my mage up, but I just like after leveling this guy so late and not being able to get into groups for dungeons and not being able to like really world quest that well either, because there's just like you just get ganked all the time and you can't, or you just have people fighting for like quests. Like when I was leveling, I had to layer like I had to swap layers like fucking every different quest I was doing. Sometimes I'd have to layer swap like once or twice in the same quest. And then I didn't realize, maybe I was like spoiled by like Season of Mastery, and I don't know if they changed it during Season of Discovery too, but I remember the classic EXP that you would get for like turning in quests and all that. I remember it
Yeah.
being so much higher than it was for this. So like I was shocked when I did 3 or 4. I finally got in a dungeon. I did like a bunch of I had like 5 fucking dungeon quests, and they're all like yellow/orange, like a couple levels above me, and I'm going, nice. I'm gonna get like half a level off of this shit and finish off this level, and no, it just like, oh, motherfucker, some level 45 is fucking on my route now. Damn.
Well, it's like, I did too. Like, I can look back and remember leveling. Like, I leveled a warrior in 2005, and then I leveled my shaman in 2006. Like, it took me the whole year to level. Like, of course, I'm like fucking, I don't know, 13, 14 years old or whatever.
Yep.
Um, and I had no idea what the aspect of the game was. But I remember going to Unguro, and you get all the quests in Unguro. And I remember being level 52, 53 or whatever. I did all those quests. I think it's like 18 quests you can get as soon as you get to Ungoro. Turning that in, and it was instantly like a level and a half, 2 levels.
Right.
And I feel like it's decreased a lot. I don't know if it is to slow down, but I also spent like 2 years on a private server after TBC. And of course, it was like ×5 experience. So like you turned in 2 quests and you were the next level anyway. But yeah, the leveling experience for this fresh, I mean, I feel like it was kind of a pain in the ass.
100%.
I mean, it was nice. It was nice. Like I've got a bunch of clips where I was open world PvP because everybody's contesting. And I mean, it was fun. I think this is the first time I've really played a fresh classic where I was actively I was fully active during the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just because it was slow at work, and I wasn't gone all the time like I normally am. It's been really nice.
Makes a big difference, like when you're playing consistently from the very beginning of it. And normally I am, like, normally I'm there day one, we're all rushing to do everything and blah blah blah. I was had family stuff going on during this one, and I had a lot of other shit going on, and I just literally could not fucking play, like, at all, really. And I had to start really late. I feel like I've only been 60 for like, I don't even know, maybe 3 weeks now, 4 weeks. And coming in late like that, it really like shot down a lot of stuff. Like like we were saying, it's hard to get in dungeons. It's hard to find groups for all that shit. Now that I missed the whole like pre-bis rush where everybody was running dungeons to like get their pre-bis and shit like that, it's been very hard for me to get my pre-bis stuff. Like, luckily BRD has like a good amount of healing gear, and like luckily there's like a few like dungeons and a few things that and I caught Dire Maul. That helped too. I caught Dire Maul, which was big because I was able to get like a good portion of that gear, luckily. And now it's like dead. The only thing you can find for DM is fucking
You're selling loot.
right, if they're selling loot, or if they're doing the tribute buffs. And what sucks is a lot of the DMT loot I need is like off of the king. It's not from the chest. It's like off killing the king, or like killing the other guy with him, or whatever, the observer guy. And so nobody does that, because if they're doing DMT, they want the buffs, so they're not going to kill the king, and they'd rather sell that instance and make a bunch of gold doing that than killing the king so I can get a piece of my prebis potentially. Like nobody's gonna do that. Whenever I put in a group to look for stuff for like DMT and like killing the king, people are like, "Are you nuts? Like we're not doing that." I'm like, "Oh, all right, well, fuck me then." So
Yeah.
I haven't been able to really get shit. The good news is though, I have like 350 plus healing. We did Oni last night, and I was 200 healing off of top heals last night, and I forgot to fucking change out of prospect. So the fights are so short and everything now that if I can be a top healer as prospect and with just my healing gear on, then I don't think it's too big a deal that I don't have every point of plus healing I could get.
Well, like, so I'm gonna pat Raid White their back a little bit. Like, I can pull up the logs from last night, and this is where it's kind of a pain for a hunter. So aim shot is a 2-second cast, like 2.3. So Luciferon killed in 17 seconds.
Dude.
Mag killed in 33 seconds. Gehenna's 19 seconds. Gar was 40 seconds. Shaz killed in 15 seconds. I think I got 2 aim shots off because it's a 2-second cast, or 2-second cast, but it's 6-second cooldown. And I'm barely squeezing off that second aim shot.
Right.
Like that's how fast shit's dying. Sulfuron 30 seconds, Golmag 42 seconds, and Major Domo is 32 seconds. But like Ragnaros, it has a 50-second kill, but most of that's your fucking talking time anyway. I mean, I think I maybe get 4 aim shots off before Ragnaros dies. So it's like the level of playing is awesome now. And I mean, I remember being, I don't know, 13, 14-year-old running, Molten Core, and it had taken a minute to kill Luciferon, and everybody's freaking out and everything like that.
I mean, that's fucking insane, dude. That is absolute fucking, I don't even know. Again, that might be a difference between SOD and, or not SOD, Season of Mastery and whatever. Like, I don't know. There's been so many different, like, versions with the kind of changes, like we were saying, with the experience and all of that, but I remember Classic like so differently. Like I don't remember it being possible to like kill these guys as fast as they're dying. And like, dude, we've always been really good. So like, I don't think it's something like, oh, our guys all of a sudden got way better or like something like that. We've always been really good. We've always had pre-bis gear and all the little hacks and all this stuff. So maybe it's just maybe this in the base game, it really just is like this. I really don't remember, but I certainly don't remember it being like so easy. I mean, the fact that we can kill a boss in fucking 15 seconds is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. Like, I am pulling up a Safun kill from Wood Department, Azura Strike. This is my shaman. We had a 6-minute kill, which we all know, Sethun, it's a long fight, whatever. But 6 minutes is like top 50 worldwide.
Right.
I mean, it just goes to show like the level of players in Wood Department as well.
Yeah. So we're getting kind of close to time. Is there any particular thing you wanna squeeze into this episode? or talk about real quick?
I would just say, like, some hopes that I'm excited for.
Okay.
Like, Wood Department's going to be going into the Burning Crusade. My plan is to continue to play Hunter. I may switch to Paladin.
Ooh, TBC
I haven't
Paladin's
figured
awesome.
out yet. I like rep Paladins during the Burning Crusade, especially for Arena. Amazing. Really liked it. I'm glad that they're not just an auto attack anymore. So they introduced the Crusader Strike, was awesome. But that's what I'm looking for, because I've really only played with Wood Department in the classic version, including Season of Mastery and including Season of Discovery. So to see what the world PvP aspect on the Burning Crusade is going to bring, especially to this guild, is going to be something that is, could be mind-boggling, because I remember how much world PvP went on the Lightning Hoof server, on a role-playing PvP server went on out in the Outlands. To see this guild do it is going to be mind-boggling. I don't know if you've thought of that yet or not, but it excites the shit out of me already.
Yeah, we talked about, me and Get Wrecked talked about this a little bit last time. I'm not the biggest fan of TBC. I can't remember the last time TBC came out. I forget. That was probably like a few years ago. I feel like that was like 2021. Fuck this fucking druid stealing all my shit. I feel like it was 2021 maybe that they did TBC, and I played it. It's WoW. It's like meh, nothing. It's not something. I definitely like Classic better than TBC, and I really feel like TBC is like so like linear kind of. There's not like that much. Like in Classic, you can like explore so much shit. Like you can do like dungeons, you could do raids, and you could do like all that sort of stuff. There's like a lot of freedom with it. Where TBC, it's like you you hit max level. You have to clear like every zone. You have to clear every zone quest wise if you're gonna quest. And what most people do is they just chain run dungeons the whole time to get your rep and to not level so that you can save, or to not use your quests, so you can save your quests for gold. So everybody just runs dungeons the whole time leveling up, which like eventually gets pretty fucking boring. And then you run the dungeons, you get your rep to like unlock your heroic keys or whatever, you hit max level, and then you farm all the quests so that you can buy your flying or whatever. Then you get your heroic keys, you run heroics to get your like pre-raid. Then you basically just farm like prismatic, or not prismatic, the fucking elemental, like the TBC version of like elemental earth and all that. You basically just farm a shitload of those, and then you do, and then Kara comes out, and basically all I remember of TBC was I ran a priest and a druid at the same time, leveled both of them pretty quick, and within like a week of, or like within like 1 or 2 resets of Kara being out, I had both characters like full phase 1 geared. I ended up selling both of those characters and just starting a third that I ended up playing, because full phase 1 BIS characters in like the second week after Kara came out, I sold one of them for like $800, and the other one I think I got like $450 or $500, but it was like, it was too much money to pass up, and it was too easy and like linear of a path of play that like I couldn't turn that down. And then the third guy I leveled, I did the same exact shit, and it just like, I don't know, there's like not much to it. And then even though each phase comes out, like outside of the different raids that come out, there's like not that much to do, I feel like. And so I don't know, unless you like PvP and stuff, and I'm not, again, not like a huge PvP guy. Like I'll do group PvP, but I'm not like big on arena. I'm not gonna just like go do BGs by myself because I'm like always a healer. So unless you're playing with like a group that's coordinated and shit, you basically just get targeted right away and fucking stomped on by everybody. So it's like PvP's not really fun unless I have people to heal and people that are gonna peel for me and stuff.
So me and you got two different versions of TBC. So I played a Resto Shaman by the time TBC, and I mained it. I went from Warrior to Shaman in Classic. So once we got to TBC, I was a full Tier 3 Shaman. And I remember going in, the first zone of the Outlands was a bloodbath on Lightning Hoof. Constant PvP, and Shamans then, when we got the 40-point talent, I mean, we were good. I mean, I felt like I could survive Riptide and Earthshield. I could freaking survive anything. I could just throw Riptide, throw Earthshield on me, and I could just beat you down. And it was just, I don't know, because I think Classic for me when I first started playing, since I was so young, was like the learning experience. And then once I got into TBC and I was like an older teenager, I think I was like 14 or 15, I knew what I was doing. So I thought of myself very good. I mean, I made a name for myself on that server, where people still whisper me today, like, "Oh yeah, you're Zero Strike," and I remember you, and you played with Sublime because that was my guild during Classic.
Yep.
And I don't know, I had a blast. Like I bounced between Elemental and Resto. I hit Gladiator in 5v5, which was easy. I mean, I hit Gladiator in 3v3. But playing an Elemental Shaman and TBC and Resto during the raid, I mean, I loved it. I mean, it was a great experience. And I have ideas for TBC that I'll probably bring up to our officers. And I'm sure they've already thought of this, like with Doomwalker and, the other world boss. I think it's Kazakh again.
Yeah.
But I feel like as long as we keep up the momentum and go into TBC with that mentality of being the best guild and controlling everything, I think you'll have a lot more fun this go around than you did back in the day.
Yeah, that's probably true. I feel like I could be mistaken, but I feel like TBC, I might have not been in. I gotta get my dates right. I feel like TBC was right before I joined Wood Department. Maybe I don't know. I'm a little off on my timing there, or maybe I was. I don't remember. I feel like I wasn't though, because I feel like I was raiding with like random people still then. And also, yeah, I had to have been, because I also wouldn't have sold my character so freely if I was in the guild. So this had to have been before. Yeah, it had to have been. So I think you're right. I think that will make a major difference, because I'll have, the guild to lean on and like, help support and all that. So I think you're right. That should make a difference. But people are already like preparing for it, and some people are like buying shit on the auction house already, and stuff like that. And like I know this game like damn well, and fucking I don't know what to get in Classic right now that's gonna be really good for TBC and all that type of shit. It's like that's beyond me.
Yeah, like I don't really remember doing that back in the day. Was like I don't remember having to prepare so much for it. Like people are making all these bank alts and like, the chocolate thing for Valentine's Day. They're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you'll use these in Karazhan or whatever. And I'm like, bro, Karazhan's a year away.
Right.
Like we've still got, this whole year we've got, BWL, we've got AQ, we've got ZG, then we've got Nax. We're not looking at TBC until next year,
Yeah.
In the next year, maybe springtime. And to go ahead and start stacking stuff, I mean, it, to me is wild. But I mean, to each his own. If that's how you want to play, play it.
Yeah,
But
that is crazy. I'm with you on that. That's a little like too deep.
I mean, I've prepared a little bit, like for BWL. Like I'm gonna hunter, so I'm gonna be doing these pulls in BWL. That's in my mind a nightmare because it's very risky. And so, like, I've got all these flasks. I think I've got 20 health flasks already saved up.
Damn.
Because I know that when BWL comes out, they're gonna skyrocket in price. Like they're 200 gold right now, but that shit's gonna be like 400 or 500 by the time when that comes out.
Right. Yeah, for sure. All right. I know you gotta go. I gotta probably get going and stuff too. Unfortunately, Get Wrecked couldn't join us. I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct, that he one of his really good friends' birthdays today. They were doing something for that. So we'll give him a doctor's note, excused absence for this one. Hopefully he'll join us on that.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was great having you on, Thumper. I think for the most part, you're going to be joining us regularly, right?
Yep. As long as my work schedule continues to be the same, I will try to be on Thursdays, and we can do this. If anything changes, I of course will let you know. I really enjoyed this tonight. It was fun. I always like talking about the guild and something that I enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds good. Definitely, you're welcome anytime. You definitely brought a different perspective on stuff with. You definitely brought, like, the hunter perspective, and you have your own experiences on things, and it's good to just have kind of like a fresh look on things that they're not going to get all the time with just me and Get Wrecked. So that's awesome. Glad you're a part of it. Huge thanks for what you're doing with the videos. They're fucking awesome. We're gonna as we get a few more episodes out and stuff like that, we're gonna break it down into clips. Again, like we were saying, with attention span, long form isn't necessarily the best for a lot of people these days. So we're going to break it down into clips so people can see that, and we're going to start putting that out on TikTok and Instagram, things like that. Try to get it out there for a wider audience so that more people can learn about Wood Department and kind of see what we do and hopefully learn something. If you're interested in joining Wood Department, A, you better be fucking good. And B, you can contact any of us, and we can set you up with the application process. If you want to see more Wood Department guys that are gameplay oriented, and where you're going to see a lot of cool stuff that you probably didn't know about or have never seen somebody just whoop ass like that, you can go to Twitch and you can check out Mitsumi. You can check out Greek Wario. Let me pull this up. We have another guy. I believe he's one of our warlocks. Where is it? His name is on there is Warlord Cream, no space. That's another one. I'm trying to put together a list. We have more streamers. People have been busy and whatnot, so I haven't gotten a chance to get everybody's name, but we're trying to put together a concrete list so that people can kind of just go through and pick whoever they want. Hopefully we'll have 7 or 8 guys. I know there's at least probably like 10 people that stream, and then hopefully that would be a good mix of stuff. You could see some mage stuff, you could see paladin, and kind of maybe if you play such and such class, you can find a guy that you can watch and pick some stuff up from, or maybe learn something new. So we're going to try to put that out for you guys. But yeah, I mean, you got anything else for him, Thumper?
No, man, that's it. I mean, that's the whole goal of this, is to get names out, allow people to see what it's like being in the best guild, and go from there.
All right, beautiful. I think I don't know if you're looking at guild chat. I think there's I probably should have been paying better attention to this, but I think there's some PvP going on in the mountain too. So I'm gonna close this down and focus on that. Try to help out. I think some people are starting some shit, so there's some asses to be beat.
Yep, get in on that escort raid. All right, man, I appreciate it. Thanks
Yep.
for having me.
Yeah, have a good night, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
See you.